Hello everyone, I am your guide. Don't worry, no one can see us, so we can walk wherever we like, and we won't break any laws. Speaking of laws, would you like to learn a few strange ones? I know quite a few. There's one of my favorites, no pies on Christmas. It was seen as pagan. Or there's the one about not eating more than 2 courses. No need for excess. Or the not wearing purple. That was just because it was a rich people thing. Some of the laws made more sense, though, like no stealing food off of farmers' trees or not gossiping constantly. Now, there were also trials for these crimes. You couldn't have someone not like you and just accuse you of a crime randomly. One of these types of trials is trial by water. You'd be tied up and thrown into water. If you floated, you survived, and you're guilty and shall now be punished. If you didn't float, you drowned and were innocent, so you would not be punished, but you were very, very dead. There was also things like trial by cake, where you could be given some food and told, hey, eat this. And while you were eating it, you'd be told, if you choke, you're guilty and shall be punished. However, if you survived the trials and were found guilty, either by floating or choking on the cake but not dying on it, that sort of thing, you would be punished. And the punishments could be quite awful. No, hold it. We are not spreading that idiocy. Iron Maidens were not used. In fact, there's overwhelming evidence that they were just a way to scare people. They wouldn't even work. They would set different places on every person, meaning the slow death would never be guaranteed. They had 4 more logical devices, like this, for example. This device would be strapped to a person's head if they gossiped too much, making it so they couldn't speak. Wonder if that makes more sense than a sharp box. I'm getting carried away. Let's slow down a bit. I would like to talk to you about the punishments that these people would be put through as they inform us of how people were seen when they did something wrong. First, let's start with the brass bowl. It was a huge, hollow brass bowl. The convicted person would be placed inside, and a fire would be lit underneath, frying the person inside, and with how the screams were released, it would sound like an angry bull. That's one of the more brutal ones. But there were other things that were less violent. One such thing is the drunkard's cloak, which was basically just a barrel. You'd walk around town wearing a barrel. It was mostly just meant to have people ridicule you, make fun of you, that sort of things. It was a lot like the barracks, where you'd be locked in on a wooden plank and just kind of shown off for people to ridicule or throw stuff at. And there are methods like combing and heretic's fork. The heretic's fork rested on your chest and chin to force the head up and keep them from eating, drinking, sleeping until they admitted to their crimes. It was torture. Combing is similar in classification as torture. When making things like yarn or natural fabrics, you have to comb them with metal brushes. Now imagine those sharp, thin brushes scraping against the human skin, slowly tearing through it, leaving them bloody and raw and ripe for infections or sometimes death. Yeah, it doesn't sound fun. Finally, there are things like the rack, which, whether meant to kill someone or dislocate their joints, making them scream out in pain as their bodies slowly pulled apart, their agony is never ending till death. Of course, there were many more torture methods, and jail time was a thing. But I don't want this to be too long. There were also some more basic punishments, like losing an eye or hand or any body part. Really, I could rant for hours about these things. However, if I try, I might be wearing the helmet I showed you. I suppose we should be done for now. Don't get the plague or in prison before you go. I wouldn't want to have to clean up another tour group. I didn't get the smell of bleach off me for weeks after the last time. Plus, there's still blood on the Iron Maiden. Who decided to let one of them try that?